guys, and welcome to yet another video. I am Uzinhle Mzileni, your host and friend in all things growth and personal development. If you are watching my videos for the very first time, thank you so much for deciding to be part of the family. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back, and I hope to see you again and again and again. So namhlanje I wanted us to talk about all things money, finances, and why they keep dekering. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not qualified to give out any financial advice. I am just merely a girl sharing her experiences and some of the strategies that I have used to find keep afloat. So 2024 has been one of those years where finances were a bit of a rough patch. Okay, let me not lie and say a bit of a rough patch. It has been one of those years where finances were dekering, and I've had to try and find ways to make money work for me, right? So firstly, I believe one income is never enough. So I make sure that I try and do a lot of weekend work to try and make that extra buck, right? Now, I thought it was gonna be extra bucks, but I have found actually I do side work, and then at the end of the day in Dibon, it actually fits into my monthly expenditures. So it's basically just me making more money in order to cover the budget, yeah, basically. So I don't know if I can say, am I living within my means? Definitely yes, but am I making enough money in order to cover what I need? Definitely not. So that has put me in a position where I was like, okay, let me try and find strategies in order to make imali work for me. Now, firstly, confession, right? I am an impulsive buyer, and my weakness is mostly clothes. Yes, handing badla, and also going out to restaurants. So those two sana ziyayitya imali yami, and I always hide behind Indo eti. I work hard for this money, so I definitely need to be enjoying my money. You gotta spoil yourself. As long as I excuses, right? That's me. So what have I done kulonyaka in order to try and minimize my spending, and in order to make sure I can afford the life that I want to live, and in order to make sure le mali ndifumanayo is actually enough for what I need to spend it on. So guys, you can imagine, right? If you are a smaller nyana girl, single girl, and your entire household depends solely on you, right? I'm just a small girl, sana, but irresponsibilities as ngaga. But I'm not complaining. I thank God every day for amandla woba ndikwazi ke ukwenza zonto that I need to do, and I trust in God anike amanye amandla to be able to afford more things, right? So firstly, one thing etya imali when it comes to running a household, it's the groceries, right? And the tricky thing about your groceries is that you can never say when you go shopping at the end of the month, or whenever you decide to go for your shopping, it's not a once-off thing, right? You have to refill, like, I don't know how many times, but but personally, for vegetables and all those perishables, I do it once a week, right? There's electricity that will definitely run out, so you'll have to take care of that. You will have gas that will probably run out, so you'll have to refill on that. So there are those refills that you have to do. So you can never say okay, I am spending this much, and that's that, right? So from now I was like, okay, when it comes to groceries, this chows up my money, and I do not have an option of saying, let me cut down on groceries or mandiyeki groceries because kotiwandon. And also the place that I live in is not friendly for me to do gardening, because that was my plan. I was like, okay, in order to cut down on vegetables, how about I have my own smaller nyana garden? But also I'll try that out next year. I don't have enough space, but I will try and utilize what I do have and plant vegetables so that I don't have to be buying vegetables. Now on to what I did and not what I want to do actually. So the first thing that I did when it comes to groceries, I decided to explore the option of doing my shopping at wholesale stores, and it has worked out for me quite well because bulk of my shopping was done there, and then maybe I'd go get to the other supermarkets for those smaller nyana things like your vegetables, your dairy products, because I didn't like shopping for dairy products prior, and then a few items that I would like to see or that I would like to feature in my meals. Then I would go get to your grocery stores, your supermarkets and all that. Otherwise, I saw bali option cut down on the expenses kakulu. I was able to then also buy in bulk because they sometimes also have these specials about if you buy in bulk then you do get those discounts. So I was able to do that, and I was like, yazidoni, this works out for me quite well. Sana imali I can see I saved. Secondly, when it comes to meat, I used to buy braai packs and then trays and yama, right? And then I would see that, okay, iskali sakhona sana, it no make no sense. Hey, and before you know, you have visitors coming in, and then you are peggy and then you're like, oh my god. And your tray, it's a small tray, yanyana, ye mutton, and you find it's actually $70, right? And then it's 2-3 pieces, and that's it. So I was like, let me go to butcheries and actually buy inyama. And guys, I don't want to lie, inyama endlini, it's the 3 of us, right? It's me, my son, and my nanny. So I was like, okay, I can go to the butchery and actually buy meat for like 500 for the rest of the month, and I won't have to top up. Like, I'll buy meat 500 rand a butchery, and that's about it. So I was like, kutheni beningatsho niphi ixesha elilonke ndithenga itray ye-70, 100 rand, maybe zii-tray eziyi-5, and then akho chicken, akho pork, akho sausage, akho ntamo, akho nothing else. So butcheries. And then moving on to me being an impulsive buyer, right, and struggling with impahla and going out, right? So growing up, my mom, I used to see her. She had a small diary and she had basically a budget plan, right? So she'd write down the expenses and then how much she spends on each, right? So I tried that for myself, and then I decided, okay, let me say in this nika pocket money etile for that month, and then try and stick to spending that much money. Then if I run out, then I know that's it for the month from now, right? So I tried that out, and sada it did not work out for me. But what I can say about budget is that it worked out as a guide form na, and it served as indo eti. I know what to focus on, and in terms of the big bills, right? And then just ensuring whatever happens, I've got those covered up for the month. I've paid them and I'm done. Like your school fees, your groceries, policies, all those, right? So budget worked out in that regard form now. But when it comes to now the money that's left and my pocket money, like I'll say in Klambi, I'm setting 2,000, 2.5 for me to spend for that month. Do I stick to it? And then I see Uguti, there's actually something left after that. I go there, Sanamna. I chow that money because I worked hard for it, right? And you gotta spoil yourself. So budget didn't really work out for me, but what has worked out for me is that fortunately I stay out of town. So where I live, you'll find by it's only just a grocery store. We have one grocery store and then a few shops and a garage and just one coffee shop. So okay, two coffee shops basically. Well, one and two coffee shops, yeah. So there's not much to spend money on. So what I did is I was like, okay, let me reduce my visits to the mall, right? So the only time I go to town is me dropping off my son at school and then me going to the gym and then coming back home. And I know but town is very far for me to just drive there again, so I simply don't do it. I just go to the mall when necessary, and then that's when I get to go do whatever I need to do. And then I know but when I walk out of there, I'm definitely walking out with at least one dress. That is me. So I haven't figured out that discipline of actually saying, well, okay, I'm cutting down, nazi pocket money, stick to that, and that's it. I don't want to lie, that I have not figured out, but I'm hoping as I grow, because I just a baby, I will definitely figure that out and I will stick to that and next year. And then the other thing that I picked up from my mom, Shem, I thank God for that lady. So growing up, what my mom used to do is she would say, uyabonasa, end of the year. So what she would do is she would take most of her bonus afage with school fees, right? And I was like, okay, I've seen my mom do this, and that is definitely a route that I want to explore. Even if I can't take the full sum of your school fees, like your annual fees, and put it in because I get afford it. So I was like, okay, from my weekend work, I can actually take what I make from there and actually throw in school account as opposed to me paying on a monthly basis. So whatever I make that is extra, because it's never extra mtasakaya, so I just take that and I put it there, and I was like, okay, this seems to be working out for me because at least then I can catch up with the school fees and maybe be able to finish off just before the end of the year, right? And then imigalelo, I don't want to lie, Shem, that has worked out for me. Those stokvels, I tried them out this year, and I had two of them. So the other one was a mini stokvel that you could use to contribute towards groceries, and then the other one at least had more money, so at least you can actually get a huge sum of money and then you can do whatever it is that you need to do. So that worked out for me, Glonyaka, but I was like, okay, next year I'm not doing any stokvels, and that is simply because I'm not in a permanent job and I do not want to be in a position where I can't pay people's money and then sana I'll pay with December. Up big and fun by talk of the town. So what I've opted for is that I was like, okay, next year what I'm definitely doing is I'm getting myself as a grocery stamps that serve as vouchers. So every month, and I'm just gonna chop up money, ditenge stamps, and then have that, so that when I need to do my groceries, I can actually just take from Paya, and when I need to top up and whatever, I'm actually just gonna take from Paya. And then I also explored the option of lay-bys. Guys, that if I want an outfit, right, then I definitely see myself wearing it the weekend when I go out for my coffee, my drinks, or whatever, right? So I did not have ela klesha loba, okay, I'm just gonna lay by this, and then 2 months or 3 months later I go and take out a lay by yam, then I can wear my outfit. Sana, it never worked out for me, but I was like, okay, let me try that out. So first thing I did is I tried it on my son. So I was like, okay, at least when I buy clothes for him, yeah, I can actually do a lay-by. So I did that for him, lay-by clothes for him, and 2 months, 3 months later, and I'm start. So I was like, oh, okay, this puts less pressure on me because at least I can just take out kancinci kancinci imali, and then I have money left to do other things. So lay-bys worked out kahle for me. And then I've done that on my son only, but I have still stuck to landba. I need it now. Need to wear it now. Anyway, akasebenzi. So, and then I guess Anna, biggest culprit when it comes to my money, fuel. So like I said, I stay out of town, right? And in the mornings, I have to go drop off my son, and then when he comes back, he gets dropped off, right? So I was like, oh, okay, I can't really run away from indoor air fuel. So I have to be going to town on a daily basis and then come back. But then me not driving around town kakulu, and me just not going to malls, not going to shops unnecessarily has cut down on fuel, because I know by in the mornings it's just me going straight drop off and then coming back home and then starting work. So akondo ndambisayo, akondo ndifunayo esithubeni, I get to save a lot. And also I became more aware of e-points, like your e-bucks and all that. So I use those kakulu now, and I'm actually able to spend on fuel, get e-bucks as them, because sometimes I'm just like, not my money, son. Not with my money, but I can use that other money, right? And then the other thing that I'm still not sure about, right? Because I love convenience. I've been asking myself actually, my son is actually turning 8 years next year, and he is an independent baby, Shem. I don't want to lie. He can make food for himself, just isonga, your basics. He can make isonga, he can pour a drink for himself, and then he can actually bath himself. He can dress himself, even though he takes much longer. So I was asking myself, do I actually need a nanny? Do I need a full-time nanny? Yes, it's convenient in the sense that you come home and the house is clean and everything is tidied up for you. There's someone to cook. There's someone to watch over Umdana when you need to go somewhere. So I was like, I am thinking, okay, I don't want to be loud because it's the corner. So I was actually thinking that, how about I explore the option of having someone that will come in and clean and then do the laundry twice a week. I can cook. I do the lunch boxes now anyway, so that wouldn't be a challenge for me. I don't mind cooking. I don't mind tidying up after myself. Those are things I can actually do. I can wake up in the morning. I am a morning person, so I'll be able to just get my son ready quickly, then drop him off. Do I need a full-time nanny? Because then I can just take that money and you know. But also now the problem is that you've already employed someone, and you definitely cannot just take away isonga emlonyen, right? So, but I was like, okay, if it comes to a point where she needs to leave, then I definitely won't be looking for another nanny. I'll just look for someone who will come in 2 or 3 times a week. That will be fine. And shemge, lastly, saving. I'm saying shemge because I am not good with saving money, but I do try shem. So at least this year I was able to create a fixed savings account for myself, and I was like, okay, let me try and be disciplined nyana, just make sure that I actually deposit money into that account. So at least I've managed to do that, even though I'm not saving up as much as I would like to save up, because ayikho mntasekhaya leyo saver, you understand? So, but yeah, not bad for a start, you know. We'll try again next year. So I don't know what strategies you have used, guys, to try and make money work for you. If you have any strategies, any tips or whatever, please share, so that Sana 2025 can be a better year in terms of managing finances. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.